without ideas being shared, because if something important is there to be shared, then we should share right now, because I don't think there will be time in future anymore, because and it applies for everybody. If you have something important, something that you feel that should be shared, that is part of your understanding or learning or whatever you want other people to know, please feel take initiative and take priority take it as priority and just share it with others. Share it with me. I would love to see what you guys share. But today's thing that I wanted to talk about is that there is so much. Like, I'm just like, I know everyone might be facing this problem, that this information overwhelm, right? And the problem with West is kind of like, if we do, like, I don't want to say it, but we have to say it, because this is kind of increasing at a very, very rapid uh, uh, speed, and it's not doing anything good but bad for society and bad for humanity in general. The greed for the from the West, not the governance side, not only just from the government side, but from the corporate side, and from the people who are just a little bit well off from their neighbor, right? Like, everybody understands that how to milk um, money out of other people's or situations, not even just problems, situations. I think that has gone way too much to the extreme. um, and they are doing it at the expense of any societal or social bearing. Like, what I'm trying to say is that, what is social media if you don't have social structures in the country? Like, social media is not social media, it's actually a marketing platform. It doesn't connect people. Anyway, that I will come to social media also, because that is also very, very very critical and very abusively used in the West, because it started in the West, used profusely in the West only. But I wanted to talk a slightly different topic right now, is that people, I mean, it's not, I'm not telling from the, don't think that I'm telling from the heart of hate. I'm not telling from the heart of hate. I'm just saying that everyone should now, at this point, we are at a very important point in our lives, and even in history and across time, where we are making very big changes in humanity and to humans. We should be very careful of our actions, that might be very, like, they might seem very nice and good and comforting and easy and fun and all in the short run, but they might have um, effects at a humanity level. Okay. um, I think the for now, just I wanted to say, like, even individual level, corporate level, government level, every level, I think greed should be very, very critically observed and checked, because we are kind of, any kind of growth, personal level, professional level, corporate level, government level, any kind of growth has now just is now just coming, actually from the last 20 years, actually is coming at the expense of societal detriment, and human value uh, declination, right? And it should not be like that. It should not be like that. um, um, and still in today's time, like, there are so many abstract topics, um, that get created in the West as part of like some like innovation has reached. There's no new innovation. Most of it is like a false innovation. Like like there are like no, see how many dating coaches out there every day. Like there are dating coaches, and problem is very simple. The problem is very very simple. Like, and there are dating coaches everywhere. I sometimes don't believe like why they are like. It's a simple. It's an affordability problem created by you know who. Like you can very strategically families are destroyed, right? See, if you make see if you make somebody's job harder, okay, the whole part of the governance. And what is governance? Governance is what to govern people, right? How to govern them easily. Make them weak enough to be. If you have to govern people easily, you have to just make them weak. That's it. Bring them to the point of survival, right? And then you might say, okay, so then how to increase the productivity, or how to actually further make them weak. You know, ask their spouses to come and work. You increase the tax money, you get edge on negotiating the salary or the wages, because now supply of the labor is twice, right? You increase the supply so the labor cost doesn't go up. At the same time you collected the tax, at the same time you increase the productivity twice, and at the same time you have increased the spend across the country, because now there is dual income. And over time you just have to, and you can run the marketing initiatives like hard work, so that people have to work hard more number of hours, so that the lazy money can be generated for the people who have hired you. And at the same time you may run the initiatives or marketing campaigns to save more, so that they save more, so that you have to pay them less. And it's still you make them hard to run a family. It's still. So basically all of this growth has been funded by the from the share that a family or a neighborhood or the community could have had. So basically the growth is coming from destroying the social fabric. And if you destroy the social fabric, you destroy the religion, and that's why the religion has got destroyed. And then you kind of destroy, if you destroy religion, you destroy all morality. Now you may say morality is bad anyway. No, morality is basically a contract of conduct among humans to maximize harmony that was done many thousands of years, 1,000 years ago, 1,000 2,000 years ago, to generate productivity at that time. Otherwise it was hard to kind of group humans. But then we could do this, then we kind of did it to the extreme. So you need to figure out like who this entrepreneur is it for any good, you know like, or these governance models, right? So basically corporate uses capitalism to get to generate lazy money at the expense of society, at the expense of social fabric and societal constructs and religion and community and family and kids. and thereby you just emasculate men from the society so much so that they cannot afford a full-time wife, right? So they end up becoming full-time husband to a part-time wife because their part-time wife goes to work in the glass houses and the castles of the kings, right? So then promiscuity is inevitable, right? And then you run this entire setup in a at a very large scale with multiple many hundreds and thousands of computers with the help of social media and create apps like Instagram and Facebook to kind of create a an endless supply of Bathshebas by democratizing the female from the households or the houses, somebody's wife, somebody's daughter, somebody's mother, all in the service of the king, right? um, and it's still you know still it's a and then you create these malls that drives women's needs. So then and you're not and since these are out, the salary is just at the survival level. So you tell me who is getting paid less? I think the men are getting paid way less because they do not have the affordability. Forget about house, cars, family, wife, anything. So that way you have completely decoupled a man and a woman and brought down men to the level of survival and just presented all these women like modern day Bathshebas at the service of the kings. It's bizarre how this all is turning out. And then you sell now the leftover money. Maybe there might be some here and there, right? Might be some that also like the West has so much tool. The problems they create, they start selling the fake solutions for the same, right? In the name of dating, and all those dating coaches have come up, which who were once porn stars and doing shady stuff here and there, now have become dating coaches. Um, with no outcome or no process guarantee or anything, and they are teaching how to get laid. Forget about having a family, having societal setup, community and all that, kids and everything. No. um I mean, it's funny how if you see this way turning out, and essentially affordability problem to the very core, right? It and let me tell you one thing. It's a very simple these are very simple concepts, right? Men and women as marriage directive told by or documented in any religion, in any country, any religion, is basically as a companion. And companionship requires, listen to me, companionship requires hard dependencies. If there is no hard dependency, then there is no companionship. Okay, like you cannot make that companionship endure time if there is no hard dependency. That is first thing. Second thing is that if if a task, if a job a man can do side by side with women, let's say coding these days, right? Women in tech and all those things, right? If a man can do a job on the side of a woman, then it becomes a job similar to sewing. Okay. And when a man and a woman sew fabric alongside, then the man is less attractive to the woman. Okay, so you're not attractive enough anymore, and also you cannot afford. Okay, so the most attraction can be achieved when a man does the job when which only a man can do, and a woman does a job which a woman can only do. Okay, so starting from the co-ed days, this process has been set into motion starting from the co-ed days. But I'm just trying to tell you that in order for them to be most attractive to each other, they have to be positioned from the start itself in roles where they are the only one who can do it. Okay, otherwise you start kind of playing around with their mindset towards what they understand of themselves, and sort of that will make it hard for them to create an offer for the other gender which is attractive enough. All of it is just boils down to the affordability problem anyway, and to some extent, you know now the West is teaching that she will become, when the alpha and the real man, these new concepts have come up. All guys are alphas. Why are you telling this like 18-year boy, like why are you making him insecure of the fact that he's nobody? I mean, 18-year-old guy is any day better than 35-year-old, any day. Like, he is real G, he is top G, and he is alpha. We are destroying our kids in this age, and unnecessarily. Or even daughters, like, men and women both. We should not do all of that. Like, it's playing with all of it is not necessary. Simple thing is that, and any uncovered woman, right? If you are an uncovered woman, you're working in the public light. um it's simple and straightforward out. Even if you are against feminism or not, whatever, or you against these promiscuous women or not, you are saying that your man is not enough. As simple as that. If your man was, then you would dedicate each and every inch of, or any time for the family. There's no amount of time you would want to do anything else. Nothing in this world matters more, should matter more than to you than your family. And if you have time to make a bunch of reels every day, day in, day out, day in, day out, to find your position in the outside world, that simply tells that you do not have a similar desire to build your position for your home or household, or your kids, or anything. Some trying to be a modern day Bathshebas, and some are trying to be, a modern day Mother Teresa. Nobody will be successful. You know, Bathsheba anyway became somehow one of the queens of the king. But these modern day Bathshebas will just become some random concubine somewhere, right? And also understand, another thing, so many concepts they just throw around, needy. It makes you feel needy. I mean, needy is good. Needy is good. When both are in love, needy is good. The problem is that the other person is not in love, and then the other person is seeking love. Then the needy is problem, right? If the woman was in his actual role where the dependency is hard, then the man's neediness for love from the woman is not a problem. Is because the woman is free and can have she has multiple many options, right? She can sleep with whoever she wants tonight. This kind of an option availability is there, then of course the guy, 18-year-old guy, will seem needy because he needs love. Understand this thing. Or any guy, 18, 28, 38, whoever. Okay. So neediness is not a problem. Of course, neediness is a, I mean, in order to sustain love, dependency, hard dependency is needed. Okay, when one does not have hard dependency on the other, of course the other person will look needy. Plain and simple. Okay. So in order, so when one person or one entity has greater freedom of choice and the other person does not have, maybe situationally or circumstantially or whatnot, then the other person will look needy. It depends how much options these two entities have in their respective positions, right? Right, if the same, let's say, female counterpart turns 38, and this guy who was like 18 and was seemingly needy, now it's he is 38 and this girl also is 38, now this girl is needy and this guy is not, right? Because he has built value, because he didn't have value but he has potential. He didn't have value at 18 but he had potential. The girl had value at 18, right? But now he doesn't she doesn't have value, neither does she has potential. That's the only problem. So now she is needy, right? So needy is like how you're positioned. Anyway, I just don't want to say that these all concepts that are flowing around on internet about evolution, dating, all of that is bullshit. Bullshit. One has to go inside the house and one has to go out and everything would be just fine, like absolutely fine. And no guy is weak guy except the one who is the father of the girl is the weak guy when the girl is in public market. The father of the daughter whose daughter is in the public market or is promiscuous or is going around, that father is weak. That's the only thing. Only thing. If you fix that, everything is fixed, right? Everything is fixed. It bothers me. I mean, I can tolerate this. I can tolerate this. But I'm seeing like so much of already our birth rate is declining, and whoever is the young kids and the next generation and the little kids, sometimes I see them, the hope comes out, what they might do in future, and we are just making them burn their energy into something that that is so simple, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't be the humans who are rejecting in nature, right? Be glad that somebody crossed your path. Sometimes I just think, like, if you didn't have any role to play in my life, why did you stop by in my life for so long? I think something I'm missing. Ask yourself, I think, every day, this is one good question, is that what am I missing? What were the pockets of opportunity in my today's day? And don't miss them. And move fast, for particularly for boys. Move fast, move fast, move fast from one to the other. Move fast. Don't stick around at a place where you're not needed, you're not cared, you're not seen, you're not valued, you're not heard. Walk away. Okay, and stop fighting among yourself. All guys towards all men. Do not fight. No fight is worth it anymore. Okay, you're all using social media, technology, you know, and you don't have anything to fight. Your affordability level is so low that no, even though you win by fighting with each other, a lot of will, the bloodshed or the stress or the sweat, even nothing is worth it. You can even just drop off work at all so that you don't have to fight, because it would not yield anything. Anyway, it's kind of became a rant. I don't know what I wanted to say even, but yeah, I mean, comment something, if I have said something wrong, comment it. But I just wanted to say at the very core, it's an affordability problem. And I think it will get extra, it will become worse as time will pass, because men particularly will lose the edge in terms of skilled work. So let's see where it goes. But I think but it was very strategic. But what I wanted to highlight here is that it was very strategically destroyed. Right? It would have been a lot slower. Maybe we would have seen this time coming up maybe by 2030, not as early as 2023 or 2024, right? It came sooner than, uh, because of the fact that some people had more access to data and money, and they could see 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, and they created a future for us for which we were not ready for. And don't give all your balls to them, because they might not care the day they will put your head under the sword. So be very careful of Max 7. They won't care. That's what I'm saying. They will not care. you know Also, like, don't go with this, don't get carried away by this idea of when CEO speaks, then it is for all good. They are only talking to two people, either their customers or their employees or future employees. That's it. So so they are either talking to the customer or to the labor in essence. So don't just get carried away. That's how um, entrepreneurs are made. That's no, no. They want you to work hard so that they can make money easy, lazy. Okay. All innovation, remember, it's not somebody is intelligent or innovative. No, even innovation can be automated. Even innovation can be automated. All the companies, once they make something um, happen, feasibility. Once, so any product or service needs has three stages: feasibility, scale, sustainability, and scalability. Feasibility can be done if you have a lot of capital, which West has a lot of risk capital, so they can run experiments. And it does not take many experiments. If you hire the right resources, it's about 50 times. If you can fail 55 times, you can crack even the most impossible thing. If you have the capital to fail 55 times, pretty much, then you can crack the most impossible thing, even going to Mars or anything, whichever you dream of. And it's better if there is the likelihood of that happening is way higher if nobody has done it. So the rarer the problem is, the higher the likelihood. First thing. Second thing is that once feasibility is sorted, that it can be done maybe at a very high cost, no profitability, or with very long time. Everything can be optimized when it comes to the sustainability level. And then they have to just make it as a factory model. Okay. and then they have to scale it. That's it. Scalability is a very hard problem, actually. Very hard problem. And that is why entrepreneurship by default is a hard problem, because universe and the creation is not designed for that. Let's put it this way. It was not designed. So don't think that the people who do not become entrepreneur, they failed in life. They did not fail in life, because maybe our creation is not designed to make other people work for us. It's a hard problem. It and hard, not because in terms of the fact that it is hard to solve kind of a problem. The creation has given lesser avenues to kind of um, exhibit such kind of a behavior by humans. That is why. Anyway, maybe I'll talk some other time. Anyway, this is too much, yeah, too much on, like, I tried to cover many things, and I think I told you, like, it's a affordability problem once you, but at this time, even if we get to know if it's an affordability problem, the problem is that men are losing their edge in terms of skilled workers. That makes it even worse. The affordability problems becomes even more hard problems for them, for the men to kind of create an offer for family and afford wives and all those things, in which case probably you might have to look for some other sources of driving value, and probably you can choose to drop off from work and maybe focus on something else, which could be your intrinsic value, because that is like what works. You would want to double down on it. If you put your legs into so many things, probably it won't work in any of those places. That's why I'm saying, um yeah, it is what it is. But your dating coaches in are all useless. I mean, dating is not a concept. Even there was no such thing as dating. The concept itself is fake, abstract. The process is abstract and non-deterministic, and the result is also abstract, non-deterministic. Okay, you don't want, like, so much. It is just to take away your money in coaching and in the process. Okay, you understand it this way. You don't butterfly catchers don't run after butterflies. Okay, bye. I don't want to stick around more. Bye bye.